Alright, so this is how you do a black hole style tie-dye. A very simple one that has a very trippy effect. You start by folding a shirt in half. Make sure you fold it the correct way so that both the front and the back match. And the first thing you want to do is do a circle in the chest. So you want to go from the next collar and go down about 3 inches or so to get the top, and you want to use something to trace around a circle. You know, I just use a tie-dye container, it's round. You'll probably have one too. Make sure it's clean though, wipe it off, or else you'll get dye powder on your shirt and you won't appreciate that. Make sure that the faces are perfectly in line. And make sure you're only doing half of the container. You don't want to end up getting an oval here, or else it's going to be very blatant in your final product. Hold it firmly, trace with a washable marker, just like that. You want to do an accordion fold around this circle, which is to say you want to do little tiny scrunches following the trace so that in the end you're going to get a completely straight line out of the line that you drew. To take your sinew, and I always like to wrap it around once just to get some tensity and slowly creep the sinew through. Now what's going to happen is it's going to pull from the opposite edge, so it's going to pull from this edge here and try and curve it over. So I just want to hold that down politely, hold it down on this side right here, and pull from the other side. Now at this point, now that it's pretty much bunched together, I'm just going to give it a really tight, keeping it flat still with my thumbs, pulling from both sides, making sure it's really tight without ever collapsing in on itself. And then do a surgeon's knot, which is just a completely regular knot like that, except then you loop it around for a second time. And that creates a lot of friction so that it won't come undone on you just by doing a single one. And with this you can actually pull it even tighter than you did before, making sure again it stays flat. And then you can do a second knot to tie it off. And this can just be a normal one. There we go. And now that we got the center circle done, we're going to use that as a mold to do concentric circles coming out of it by doing straight lines beyond it. At this point you really don't need to use sinew, you can just use elastic. If you can run your fingers through the fabric like this, I'm just pulling tight to create as many little tiny ridges as I can. If you have big overlapping ridges, they're going to cover everything underneath and you're not going to get a very distinct picture in the end. So whenever possible, between every single elastic, I pull tight, create very tense, small ridges along here so it's nice and flat. So the first one here is going to be black, and then every other one after it is going to be black as well. Here's the first color circle right here. Then we'll put another elastic to mark the black. And again, leave about an inch right here in between. And use the elastics to mark it as you go, because they make it a very simple process afterwards. You just paint in between the lines and it's the best way for this shirt. I'm just going to cheat on this last one a bit and curl it around like that. Because it won't really matter what the tips of the shirt are like. So that's how it's going to be. All the thin ones are colored segments, and all the thick ones are dark.